It's a wonderful thing when you start to understand the process. It really is. So I would like to think that the light workers that we do have coming to the planet, and let me just state that light worker, the term may have come out in the 80s. I think it came out a little bit after the cosmic convergence back in, I guess it was 87. It's not a fad. I believe that the term may change, and they probably have changed over the years, and maybe there was something attributed to light worker prior to the word. But I got to tell you, it's kind of a beingness that you are. It's just, you know there's something within you. You know there's something within you calling you to help other people, calling you to heal other people. One of the things I didn't mention as a youth was that I would do spontaneous healing as well. I didn't know how to heal. I wasn't even involved in metaphysics at that point, but I remember, having instances where friends would get hurt doing bikes or skateboards or whatever, and me just knowing what to do, going and putting my hands on there and visualizing something, and they would be fine again. So that's just something that, it's innate within us. And for those of you that are just starting to understand it, just starting to wake up to it, please know that it's already there. It's almost like breaking in, it's kind of like breaking in a new body, I guess. I know that sounds very arrogant of me to say, but it's our souls are here at a place and a time in a society and in an era and within a family with certain friends, but we're still trying to break in our body to know what it can, what it can't do, our mind, our consciousness, or kind of like, breaking it in again, for lack of a better term. I think that while we do know it all, and the funny thing is that a lot of young people think they know it all. 18, 19, I knew it all. Meanwhile, 25, I didn't know anything. But I will say that 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, we did know it all. We weren't conditioned yet to forget it. And I think that's the most important thing that we have to realize is that it's already within us. All those things that you knew that you did. You did do it.
And we're remembering now.
Exactly. And I feel that's one of the reasons why I use that term so much, remember. Remember where you are, remember why you are here, and remember why you chose this time. I know we only have 20 minutes on this particular segment, but I wanted to talk a little bit about where we are in the timeline. Now, remember, when we were with Source, there was no time. Remember, before we decided, or before we had that calling, that instinct to incarnate back on Earth, there's no time where we were before. There is no space, no duality. So why would we choose to incarnate at this coming cycle, at this particular time where we're having social upheaval, we're having Earth upheaval, we're having the end of, I don't want to get too much into the Mayan cycle in 2012, but we're here for 2012.
Yeah.
I knew when I was a kid, and I don't know how many of you out there knew you were going to be here for, quote, unquote, the end of the world. I remember, even before I understood what a light worker was, even before I really understood my dynamic of interacting with this planet on an energetic level, I would see children being born, and I'd be like, they're going to be here to watch the end. And I don't know what told me that. I don't know why I had to think that or whatnot, but I'd be like, oh, man, they're going to be here for the end. And you felt bad because back then I didn't understand it's okay. We want society to collapse, but that's a whole other topic. However, the idea of the end of the world and whatnot was very much a part of my consciousness from the beginning. From the beginning, I had visions as a child, seeing myself, and this is so stereotypical, but I saw myself as an old man under a tree, with white hair and a beard, the whole Gandalf-looking thing. And no, I never read Lord of the Rings. As a child, I never read it. It was too long and boring. But I saw myself as that under tree teaching people how to talk to the tree and feel the tree. Now, this is a little kid visualizing this stuff. Where does that come from? Unless it's some sort of prophecy. So that's why I'm like, everyone's like, oh, you have to store food, you have to get guns, you have to get locks and alarm. Well, first of all, I don't buy into that. I think it's great to be prepared. Again, it's a whole other show. But I will say that, if and when the time comes, you're still going to be here. You're still going to be here. And if you don't have food, there's lots of trees out there you can eat. And I feel that was one of the messages that I needed to bring forward as I got older. The good news is that in my vision I have long gray beard and long gray hair, which I don't have right now, so we still have a few years before that happens.
I'll be right with you.
Right.
Maybe not with the beard, though.
Yeah, right.
Definitely suits you, B.
Maybe that's why I keep coloring my hair, not to let the gray come out, try to hold back that prophecy. No, I'm kidding. I like my brown hair, thank you. But, so, we asked ourselves, why did we come at this time? And I think that's probably one of the most appropriate things to talk about on this broadcast, on this particular Lightworker discussion, is we knew it. We knew it, you knew it, I knew it, and the universe knows that within this particular paradigm, and this is only one paradigm, now we must remember this part. This is one particular paradigm and one particular dimension. There are parallel universes, there are parallel dimensions, and beyond the parallel dimension and parallel universes, we have higher vibrating dimensions. So not only can we go up and down, we can go left and right on these particular metaphysical timelines, for lack of a better term. We have to realize that even though right now on this particular universe, there is a parallel universe where everything is completely different. So why did we choose this particular universe in this particular paradigm? My only answer to that would be that we knew we wanted to help people get through it. We have this urge, we have this need. It's almost a motivating desire, and I use the term desire loosely, and not in the negative term, but in the positive term. It's a desire to help other people understand it's going to be okay. It's almost as if, and a lot of us talk about, the way showers. Yes, some people are way showers, absolutely. Some people are teachers. Some people are the prophesizers. Some people are the comforters. And some people are the educators. And all of us are a little bit of all of them. But I will say that I feel that our driving need to be here is because we want to help the world and individual human beings. Now, we're going to get into the individual human being in the second half, but we want to share this with them. We want to share the fact that you're going to be okay. No matter what, you're going to be okay. And as they begin, and we're seeing this now, we're very lucky to be seeing it now, is as the frustration and the anger and disgust in the system, in the powers that be, in the monetary system, in the political system, in the social structures, as we are finding more and more disgust in this, and I'm not talking about those of us who are already awake and we're like, yeah, I was done with that years ago, as, me too. I was born not into it. However, as more and more, as you see more and more of your friends, more and more of your family begin to awaken to this whole collapse of the social paradigm, it's not a bad thing, and you have to help them realize it's not a bad thing. I guess one symptom, or I'm sorry, one action of the Lightworker, or one character of the Lightworker, is to be the midwife for this transition. We are helping humanity birth itself into a new, evolved, ascended, and aware state of interacting not only with the planet, but with each other. And as we begin to move away, and when I say we, I mean we as a whole, when we move away from big finance or, mega money and opulence and greed and all of these things, because it is happening. As you know, a couple of years ago, a lot of people lost all of their money. I know people that lost millions and millions and millions of dollars that they had saved up. So they're now dealing with the fact of, I have to live off, instead of $1 million a year, I'm living off $100,000 a year. Yeah, that's still a lot of money, but to them, they're freaked out. Their psyche has been cracked, and instead of being happy or celebrating the fact that they lost money, we need to remember that these are people whose psyche is going to be affected, and not everyone is Illuminati. Not everyone is a dark lighter. Some people just fell into the system and that reality and way of being, into the greed and into the opulence just by mistake. And I was one of them for a little while, quite honestly. My late 20s and early 30s, I was all about opulence and limousines and fancy cars and all that stuff. And you just kind of fall. It's very cunning. It really draws you in. So we can't always call it black and white, Like I said, I have people that I consider friends that have lost a lot of money. And yeah, sure, I would love to be able to live on $100,000 a year, but they still lost their life savings, and it's stuff they worked for their entire life. And a lot of people aren't okay with that. Some of us do it by choice. I personally was very happy to let go of all of my things. There was a time before I moved to Massachusetts where I said, you know what, get rid of it all. Get rid of it all, take it all out of storage, throw it away. I don't want it. Why do I need to lug stuff around? And I'm not saying that just out of convenience. It was that I understood it didn't mean anything, that it was just material possessions. A lot of people, we're seeing the floods. A good example, the flooding, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, all of the earth changes. People are going to lose everything they worked for.
Yeah.
All that furniture that belonged to their great-grandmother and all that jewelry that belonged, was in their family for hundreds of years, or, little trinkets, even though they're just little trinkets. But that's the reality of it is. They are just little trinkets, and they don't understand that. And they are devastated. They are broken. They have lost their spirit. And we are here to remind them that you are still as 100% whole and beautiful as you ever were, and now you have less to drag around with you. And I think that's one of the most important things that we need to remember, is that as these collapses happen, as these earth changes happen, a lot of people are going to be broken. And we as the Lightworkers are going to remind them, because quite honestly, it'd be very unfair to say that not everyone is a Lightworker. It'd be very unfair to say that not everyone has a soul. It'd be very unfair to say that not everyone has been reincarnated. That would be very unfair. And a way of looking at the term Lightworker might be that we just awoke a little bit sooner than everybody else. But eventually the entire world is going to be awake, and they will all be Lightworkers.